You write in the book, Harry must be nuts. This is one of the text messages his friends were sending around to each other after Meghan's first introduction to Harry's friends in 2017 during a shooting weekend at Sandringham. You know, Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch wasn't as successful as she considered it. Critically, With Love Meghan was not a success.
You can't trust Meghan and Harry. That's the point. Even if you think you've got a deal, and that I don't believe that is possible, but if you think you have, the palace will be shocked that they will renege immediately because they have no advantage of reconciliation. They've got no advantage of ending their vendetta.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
They kind of fucked up their whole thing, went way too hard on we're victims, and they assessed the mood of their generation and America correctly in that we are lovers of victimhood. Yeah. But America did finally find a way to say, you know what, we love victims, but you two, we've just had a little too much of it.
Just ludicrous. It's all about her. And there's an extraordinary interview with Serena Williams where the first 11 minutes is all about her and not about this phenomenal tennis
Serena
champion.
Williams.
I mean, so that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And who'd want to put herself or himself, as always, women. I mean, she does have this strange distrust, I think, of men.
I just think she's crying for sympathy, playing the victim when there's nothing to be a victim about, and there's also no sympathy to be granted for this lifestyle that she's chosen to live.
The abdication happened because of the American Wallace. That was a catastrophe in a way, but we overcame it, and his successor, George VI, was a terrifically successful king. And of course, the Queen was phenomenally successful, and we'll see what happens.
Tom Bower recently made a statement that has Meghan Markle extremely worried.
And that's the thing about Meghan. She's a very, very deceitful person.
The journalist who first revealed their story in his 2022 hit book, Revenge, is returning with another release. And now, Tom Bower says he has evidence they won't be able to twist or deny.
Professionally, they've gone down dramatically, and I predicted it in the book, but even I would not have thought it would be that accelerated. I think personally, I think they've separated their professional lives, but I think what's really a great problem for them now, as of in the last few weeks, is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
Right.
Netflix series is over. There's no great podcast. They don't generate any money. And I don't see where she is going from here.
After South Park ridiculed her staged pregnancy clip.
South Park, it's come to life. That's what we're witnessing in this hospital room.
After millions worth of jam failed to sell.
And that she's sitting on $21.8 million worth of product.
After her charity came under IRS review.
And let's talk a little Harry and Meghan. Their Archewell Foundation has been declared delinquent by the state of California, meaning it is not in good standing as a charity and not permitted to engage in activities like raising and spending money, pretty much all you would expect a charitable fund to do.
Tom Bower's timing is ruthless. In early 2026, the book arrives, revealing everything Meghan tried to keep hidden. Tom Bower is preparing to reveal it all.
I think there were various things about her sexual life which I dropped out on the grounds of privacy laws in Britain.
In September 2025, Tom Bower confirmed he's writing another book on Meghan and Harry. In interviews, he said he already has major new findings and that public interest is massive. If you do know Tom Bower, pay close attention. He's known as the Witchfinder General of biographers. His first book, Revenge, topped international bestseller lists with 80 verified sources.
That Meghan was warmly welcomed in Britain, that everyone in the royal family tried their very, very hardest to make her feel at home and accommodate her, but that unfortunately Meghan only wanted to be the star and made it impossible for her and the royal family to collaborate.
Despite legal pressure from Meghan's team, Tom Bower was never beaten in court. Why? Because he checks everything. But what makes this next book terrifying is the timing. The first book launched in 2022 when they still had Hollywood allies and streaming contracts.
Last year, she was about to promote her Netflix series and didn't want to, firstly, be seen with Harry, and secondly, didn't want to go somewhere where she'd appear cheap and give it gratis. And this year, she is desperate to be seen.
This time, Tom Bower's book arrives after everything collapsed, after Spotify cut ties with them.
Can't survive without being seen. And that's her great problem. I mean, she's not invited to the great A-list parties, let alone the B-list parties.
Yeah.
I mean, who is she anymore?
After Netflix's latest project failed, that holiday special nobody watched, Tom Bower is no longer recording a fall. This is a post-mortem. Let's start with what he's covering. February 2023, South Park releases the Global Privacy Tour episode. And Tom Bower will dissect it because South Park said what everyone was thinking.
South Park cartoon, you know, when they're on their worldwide privacy tour, and you see this shot where they slice off the head of Meghan's head and look inside and it's empty.
Hollow.
And that is exactly the issue.
The episode was inspired by Meghan's real video. She posted herself 9 months pregnant, dancing in a hospital room, while Harry stood behind her looking uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. I don't think, because she's done this before for photos, I don't think that is a real baby bump. I think
way too big. It's way too big.
And sort of too low as well.
Yeah, it's like a metre out there. I mean, It looks the wrong shape.
Where's she going to give birth there? Through her knees or something? I mean, that is too...
She believed it was empowering. South Park disagreed. They animated a cartoon Meghan dancing in a delivery room until the baby bump drops to the floor, a pillow. The internet went wild.
Why are we so mad today? Because we want our privacy.
Park County Police Station, what's your emergency?
Yeah, the neighbors across the street are setting off fireworks and it's 10:30 at night.
Oh, is it the Prince of Canada and his wife who just want to be left alone?
Yes, they're being super loud and I'm trying to work on my brand.
South Park didn't invent this. They animated the doubts millions already had about her pregnancy photos.
I feel like the focus is starting to shift off of me. Maybe in editing you'll fix it.
Tom Bower's book will explain how South Park turned whispers into facts. The computer database scene showed Meghan's profile. Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. 4 labels that crushed her image.
Okay, then you must be in the national system. Oh yeah, is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. Yeah, that's totally me.
Meghan's team tried to stop the episode. They failed. South Park aired it anyway, and Tom Bower watched its cultural impact unfold live.
Can't sue a cartoon. It's satire. It is what it is. South Park has done episodes on the royal family, on the royal wedding of Kate and William, for instance. So it's not something that they would be able to sue about. And I genuinely just don't believe it.
TikTok filled with recreations. Respect Our Pregnancy became a meme. Hollywood paid attention. One studio executive told Variety, no one wants that kind of chaos.
That nobody wants to back her brand. Mm-hmm. Nobody other than Netflix, and they've of course now departed, actually wants to put their money behind brand Meghan.
Tom Bower will document how South Park turned them into permanent jokes. He's also investigating her biggest business collapse. In April 2024, Meghan launched American Riviera Orchard. She rushed to Harper's Bazaar claiming everything sold out. The outlet ran it. The jam appeared gone within hours.
You might be looking at Meghan Markle saying, well, she's in Harper's Bazaar, she's in a big magazine. Sweetie, this is a major downgrade from being British royalty.
But Tom Bower uncovered the truth. A Reddit user found a flaw on the site. By adding massive quantities to the cart, the system revealed exact inventory.
Guys, an internet glitch on Meghan Markle's website has revealed more than she probably ever wanted people to know about how poorly her business is performing. Yes, oh yes, she tried to really promote last year that As Ever was this massive success. It was selling out left, right, and center. But just, what is it, about 8, 9, 10 months in, we see a very different picture.
Tom Bower obtained the figures, $23 million in unsold stock.
She sells 0.03 of her overall stock every day. Now, for a big company, I can maybe somewhat understand that because they're so big, they have so much, like, it's sort of understandable. But I really feel like that is way too much for a small, struggling business.
137,000 jars of fruit spread.
Nobody gave a crap about the box. And Meghan Markle's, I think, whole idea that this was going to be like the box was going to be a huge thing. Like, it's a normal box. And I have her dumb keepsake thing from the spread that she forced us to buy for the first round, and it's useless. And so she was kind of a dummy and wildly overstocked the box.
$6 million in spreads alone. She sold just 26 jars in a full day.
I mean, the jam was meant to be made by her at home, and we know it was made in Illinois by a jam factory.
At that pace, Tom Bauer calculated it would take 9 years to clear stock. Perishable items that would expire and go bad.
Because right now it looks like a good chunk of your spread is probably going to expire before you ever sell it, and probably going to end up in a landfill.
Tom Bauer will expose the Harper's bizarre setup. She launched with limited stock on purpose to fake demand.
By the magazine editor that wanted to turn you into a star, that in their cover feature, they actually screw you over in such dramatic fashion that you may end up being stripped of your royal title. That is just what's happened overnight with this extraordinary cover feature on Harper's Bazaar with Meghan Markle as they claim that she's meeting her moment.
Then she used those headlines to order 150,000 units. Tom Bauer will show how the press was misled and how she ruined her own business.
Everything Harry and Meghan do is topspin, trying to convince the world, and very often the mainstream media are sucked in, that everything's okay, but it's really not. And the first revelation in regards to Archewell is that the charity is down to just 2 staffers.
Tom Bauer is also tracking the Netflix connection. With Love, Meghan was meant to boost sales.
No, I choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets. And I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know.
The show failed. Her holiday special barely made a ripple. Tom Bauer is documenting how she tied her brand to unsuccessful content.
Tom, do you think Harry and Meghan are fast learning what they signed away when they took this Netflix big moolah? And I would say they signed away their credibility and their dignity.
Well, that's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing because that's the only way they can earn their money.
Now she's releasing a cookbook with recipes allegedly lifted from Martha Stewart. Tom Bauer knows Martha is furious over the one-pot pasta copy. If it's published, Tom Bauer will cover the lawsuit.
Really Sage pointing out that she pillaged Pinterest, Joanna Gaines, Martha Stewart for her show. Can't wait for the lawsuits after the news that Meghan Markle will release her first cookbook this year, featuring recipes from her Netflix series as Duchess plots expansion of her As Ever brand. I mean, the delusion, Brittany, the absolute delusion, because of course we know Martha Stewart is very angry about the one pot pasta. So if Meghan dares goes and puts that recipe in the book, she could be facing a lawsuit.
But Tom Bauer's main focus is the Archewell Foundation. This is where his skills shine. He has the 2024 tax filings. Expenses reached $5.1 million. Donations totaled $2.1 million. That's a $3 million gap.
New York Post reporting that indeed it is now operating as all smoke and mirrors. Sarah Nathan, who is their editor-at-large, said that Harry and Meghan have been forced to downsize the staff as it was costing them so much. The big question was, would Archewell close or would another charity take over? Harry and Meghan were looking to get a fiscal sponsor, someone to take on the outgoing costs and to keep things cheap. Really, it's all smoke and mirrors. Page 6 confirmed that 3 members, 60% of the charity staff, have now been let go. But of course, what this tax information really reveals is that they are using Archewell to fund their lifestyle, not to change the world, because the security bill alone, said to be around $2 million a year, with money flowing out of the charity. So Archewell actually recorded total expenses of $5.1 million, according to its latest 990 form. Salaries for 2024 were listed at $913,000. Expenses were up 54% year on year, soaring from $3.3 million. Other expenses recorded at $2.9 million. Meanwhile, donations and grants to the group dipped from $5.3 million in 2023 to $2.1 million in 2024. Insiders skeptical of how Archewell, which doled out $1.25 million in grants in 2024, can continue. The source said if they're shooting out grants, then that's a net loss and they're not bringing in that much money. So, Brittany, when you think about this, I believe it is clear exposure of what Archewell really is. A PR project. Nothing more. It's disgusting.
Tom Bauer notes donations fell by 60% from the year before. His question is simple. Where did the money go?
But what they need to do is face up to the blackmail that's coming from California and in some way or other undermine Harry's and Meghan's credibility.
$913,000 paid in salaries to 2 staffers, nearly $500,000 each. Another $29 million in expenses. Tom Bauer knows what that suggests. Security, private flights, luxury living, all billed to charity.
William wouldn't allow it. And secondly, the moment he got back to America, he immediately promoted Disney and his trip to Disney World, which showed that he is very commercially minded, which we'll get into later on, which makes it impossible for him.
Meanwhile, only $125 million went to real causes. Tom Bauer's math, $5 million spent, $1 million donated. He's also tracking the staff collapse. 5 employees reduced to 2. James Holt, their media handler, returned to the UK.
I think in the end they're going to have to somehow publish the report into the investigation of Meghan's alleged bullying of her staff in Kensington Palace.
Meredith Maines quit hours after lying about a Kardashian party. No photos because it never happened. Tom Bauer plans to interview them.
He was forced to lie on behalf of her principals, claiming, you might remember, Brittany, that there was this special form that the Sussexes had filled in before attending Kris Jenner's 70th, explaining that they didn't want to have their photographs taken. Problem is, it never existed. James Holt, moving back to the United Kingdom, some people believe to lay the groundwork for a potential Harry.
When Tom Bauer spoke to sources for his first book, he said the victims wanted to talk. Now, he says they're even more prepared.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Meghan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes, enjoy them. I forgot to have fun. You're right. You're right.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Keen Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
Tom Bauer discovered Archewell failed to file proper tax documents for 3 years. He found they rebranded to Archewell Philanthropies right as scrutiny began, using a fiscal sponsor model to hide finances.
But the monarchy of Britain is not there to be a target for people who want to make money and gain publicity from attacking them.
Tom Bauer calls the timing suspicious and is investigating the USAID link. In 2021, Archewell received $13 million. Sources claim it was public funding. He's probing allegations it went to political groups, not charities. When that money stopped in 2024, donations collapsed. California declared them delinquent. The IRS is now investigating.
The royal family doesn't lie. The royal family is not there to be like a celebrity interview.
Or a politician. We expect it from politicians or celebrities, but not the royal family.
Exactly. And that was it. That was the final straw.
Tom Bauer is following every trail. This is his method. He builds cases with paperwork. He's also digging into her pre-Harry years, focusing on Soho House.
Once a Soho House basic, always a Soho House basic bitch.
Meghan has always had this very, very strange fascination with Soho House, very much this weird obsession with it.
Tom Bauer knows Soho House is highly exclusive. He found Harry called it her base in Spare. Tom Bauer asks how a struggling actress gained unlimited access.
Back in her early days, she was totally reliant on Soho House to pay for her travel, to pay for her accommodation.
Tom Bauer is examining Marcus Anderson, Soho House's global membership chief. He tracked Anderson moving cities whenever Meghan relocated: LA, New York, Toronto, London, California.
Marcus started off at Soho House London as a waiter, and he was a global membership director when he first met Meghan.
Tom Bauer documented Anderson as a special guest at their wedding. He investigated yacht claims. Some photos were misidentified, but billionaire access patterns remain unanswered.
Now, his job was to go to a new city wherever they were opening up a new Soho House, and his job was to find the best and the brightest of that city to invite to the founding members party. And they didn't just invite anybody. To be a founding member, you really had to be somebody in the social scene of the city where they were opening.
Sources claim photos exist of Meghan at elite Soho House events before Harry. Tom Bauer noted Piers Morgan allegedly showed them on air, and Meghan's team stayed silent.
The Favor. For many years, this almost A-list actress, and that's Meghan Markle, precariously balanced herself between dating and yachting. She thought of it as dating upward, and there are perks such as lifestyle and glamour and gifts of dating upward rather than yachting in the traditional sense.
Tom Bauer knows she sued over a letter to her father. She complained about press after opera, but about these photos, no response at all.
And all right, in the end, I was told that 57,000 people complained to the television regulator, Ofcom, in the UK. A world record, I'm proud to say, complained about me for not believing Princess Pinocchio. And eventually my boss had said, can you just apologize to Meghan Markle, or you're going to have to, maybe lose your job. I went, I'll take the job option, thanks, I'll leave. And I walked off into the sunset.
For Tom Bauer, silence matters. He's asking who paid for private jets, designer clothes, luxury trips.
Meghan Markle only becomes prominent for Soho House, guys, after she starts being on Suits and she's introduced to Marcus Anderson. And then she gets more consistent and more prominent work, okay? Because then she could be in the presence of Marcus Anderson.
Tom Bauer notes her Suits salary doesn't explain it. Her story keeps shifting. Every contradiction will be recorded.
She'd been a Deal or No Deal girl. She was calling herself a model, and she was starring in a show Suits. She used to charge almost $30,000 per trip, which is why she was making good money. It wasn't on Suits. It was on her yachting trips.
Here's what the new book covers: South Park's cultural damage, business failures, charity issues, and a hidden past, all connected.
That I always thought that when William became king, he'd just banish Harry. But I think he'll banish them both and take their titles away. And now Harry might even wonder, will he take the prince title away? Just to make absolutely sure there's no connection.
Tom Bauer has polling data. UK approval down to 20%, from 55% in 2019.
What Meghan never really understood, probably not even now, is that when she was chaired as a working royal, it wasn't because she was Meghan Markle, it was because she represented British royalty and all the values of the Queen and all the tradition and 1,000 years of history. So people were cheering not just the person, but also the institution.
That's a 45-point drop, a record low. Hollywood insiders now call her a dictator in heels.
Meghan is a consummate survival actress. And you raise this extraordinary beginning of the year when she carved 2025 in the sand. And, it's a very, very interesting image that. It came out on New Year's Day this year because the previous weeks had been absolutely turgid and torrid for her. She had been dubbed Duchess Difficult again. There had been allegations of bullying.
Tyrant in high heels.
Tom Bauer predicted this collapse. Everything he warned about happened. His credibility rose. Theirs disappeared.
Vultures. It was something like
disaster tourists.
Disaster tourists. Thank you so much. Disaster tourists. But then to save face, they delay the premiere of With Love, Meghan. That was really nice of her to delay.
Tom Bauer has the proof. Website data showing 137,000 jars. Tax forms exposing charity abuse. IRS investigations underway.
Look, there's been leaked financial details from the Archewell Foundation that's quite fascinating because it shows that there's...
He reportedly has access to Soho House images. He's collected Hollywood quotes. Former staff and DAs are expiring and interviews are coming.
All his denials in the BBC interview in 2019 were proven to be lies. And that was the point. And I mean, the photograph is conclusive.
In 2022, Tom Bower said victims were ready to speak. Now they're fearless. He documented the pattern: burn bridges, lose allies, fail deals, blame everyone else.
Instead of seeing that surrender is the worst policy to pursue, has made it clear to his close friends that he'd prefer to find some sort of reconciliation and settlement with Harry and Meghan. And that, of course, in my view, would spell doom and disaster for the monarchy.
The new book arrives early 2026. The first exposed what they did. This one reveals who they were. Financial records can't be sued away. IRS probes can't be silenced.
And even the publishers couldn't quite believe some of the things which I discovered. And one of the big things at that time was sensitivity reading. There was a great fear that she would play the race card.
Tom Bower won't be intimidated, just like South Park wasn't. Years went into this investigation. The book will answer everything: Soho House, money sources, failed ventures, and staff truths.
A documentary on his mother would be, by him, surrounded by all of these yes people.
It would be totally inaccurate. I mean, from his own book, where he says for a long time he thought his mother had just disappeared and now believes she'd been murdered by the paparazzi, which is ridiculous.
This investigation continues where the first ended. Meghan controlled her image for years. Tom Bower doesn't play that game.
In Meghan's mind, she is Diana.
Yes.
I mean, Diana Spencer is Meghan Spencer. And that was all part of her imagination that somehow she could inherit the glow of her dead mother-in-law.
He works with documents, sources, and verified facts. His reputation is built on cases that survive courtrooms.
William and Kate have been utterly humiliated and insulted. First by Meghan herself in the Oprah Winfrey interview, and now again in Spare.
The countdown has begun. Tom Bower is writing. Tom Bower is digging deeper. Tom Bower is recording every detail. In early 2026, Tom Bower's book will be released. And this time, after South Park, after the Jam failure, after Archewell's exposure, after everything fell apart, Tom Bower will reveal to the world who Meghan Markle truly was all along. Tom Bower exposed them before. Now Tom Bower is completing the story. And there is absolutely nowhere left to hide from Tom Bower's investigation.